I do see a lot of y'all in here rocking with me tonight, man. So I appreciate y'all being here. Hit that like button on the front end, and don't forget to subscribe either if you are new to the channel. All righty, let me get to this first topic, and I'm gonna jump right into this one. Boom. We got to talk these combine winners and losers. Well, I don't really like the term losers as it pertains to these combine kids because, number one, they over here, man, if you got the invite to the combine, first off, I always say that's a dub because not a lot of people get there. In fact, you know, it's invitation only, top 300 cats, if I remember correct. Actually, I don't know. It's top 300. See, I don't remember the numbers on the actual amount. I want to say it's top 300 seniors, though, that get invited to the combine. And, you know, it's one of them things where it's a proving ground. We always say this is where you get a chance to show that you're as good as advertised or you're overhyped, so to speak, man. But this also gives a chance for guys that necessarily aren't on the radar from a national standpoint, or even just for us as consumers of the Pittsburgh Steelers, right? People might not have been on our radar, but then they go to the combine, they do certain things, and before you know it, you're like, whoa, all right, this can go right now. Like it's something cool going on here. So there are a lot of players, man, that kind of popped up to me that I have down as winners. And the way that I did it was like this, man. I could make this extremely long list of every linebacker, corner, safety, et cetera, that won. But I figured, man, we got the week. All right? We got plenty of time to discuss these dudes more and more in depthly. So what I did was this, man. I broke it down to just, you know, obviously our position of need, we said was what? Wide receiver, running back. Those are the two things that we were kind of focusing on in terms of going into the draft, right? Because we're saying we definitely want to add to the wide receiver position. If that is via free agency, cool. We know T. Higgins no longer available. They franchise tagged him this weekend. So now the big name is Chris Godwin. Okay, so we could talk about him when it's time for that. So we know wide receiver is still at a premium, and we were already focusing on a lot of these names. So it was good to get some information about some of these guys and just see how they performed, how they ran and tested. And then obviously it was a couple of running backs that I thought really stood out, more so based off of what I saw on tape from them. And now you getting a chance to see them at the combine and ultimately how they responded and, you know, some of the things that they put on tape. So for me, man, I think the easy guy to talk about to start this thing off as a winner was the running back from Virginia Tech, Bashul Tutton. Yeah, Bashul Tutton. Yeah, this dude, obviously, man, 1,100-yard rusher at Tech, man, 17 total touchdowns. But really, really lit it up because of the 4.32 40-yard dash that man put on tape while also weighing 209 pounds. So you're talking about good size, but also not just it looks fast, you got it confirmed fast via laser as well. To me, man, that's a game changer. To me, that really put him more on my radar, made me look at him a little bit differently, and with a lot more intrigue. I also think that it kind of gave me some different ways that we could ultimately construct our running back room, because I do know how everybody feels, or a lot of people feel, as it pertains to Najee, right? We think as a whole, good body of work, but in terms of taking it to the next level, that explosive element, that's stuff that we just don't think will ever really develop, but we still think he's a good player. So we're obviously looking to find great players or greatness in terms of speed, or making that position as a whole, even if it's not one singular individual, if it's as a collective, making those guys great. So when I thought of, when I'm thinking of that, and I look at what the man, Bashul Tutton was able to do, like I said, with the fast 40, and then you go on and you watch his tape at Virginia Tech. And the thing that I like was this, man, I thought the contact balance was good, but more importantly, man, this is a dude that takes it off the edge, man. The toss plays, the long developing sweet outside zone plays, he's that guy. But once he gets north and south, he's flying. You don't see him get caught a lot on tape, which was something that I like. So I'm over here thinking to myself, well, okay, how do I make him fit the puzzle, right? And I said, okay, well, let's see. I got Jalen Warren, who's already a smaller back, very built similarly to Bashul. So I said, okay, can I go with the two smaller backs? And personally, I think that if I'm going this route, I need a trio. But I do like the double tandem of speed on speed. Kind of gave me Miami Dolphins vibes past couple of years, where they had their trio of speedsters down there. Whether you're talking A-Chain, whether you're talking Mostert, I forgot the other back that was down there even before. That was also part of that group, but they've had a combination of multiple guys. We talked about what San Fran was doing also back in, was that 2021, 2020 time frame, where they had a stable of backs as well. To me, man, I look at Bashul and I say, man, if it's him with a Jaylen Warren, we're super duper fast, but I still would want that thumper. I still feel like that's the whole, okay, if you want to make this about Najee and he comes back, that is the way that I would go. We talked about Nick Chubb as well over the weekend, right? Dropping the Master Most film session on Nick Chubb, where we talked about, him still having nice burst even at this stage with the injury that he was coming off of. And you can make a case that he came back a little bit soon from the injury and it still had burst on tape, which is what I like, versus when we just simply say, man, he don't have it anymore because of the injuries. I don't want opinions. I don't want emotion. Show me the tape. Show me the facts. The facts reflect he does still have it. So with that, I said, okay, man, if I'm going to go with a Bashul in a mid-round, right, because I think you get this dude 4th round time frame, might go up a little bit early just because of what he put on tape. But even if it's in the 4th round, I'm saying to myself, man, that's what you pair with the Jaylen Warren. And now if I have a Najee here, praying that it's at 7-8 million, then great. All right. I got my upgraded speed element RB3, no longer Cordell Patterson. And now I'm still able to feature Jaylen Warren, and he doesn't have to have his role be minimized along with my man over there in terms of Big Naj. That's my thump and my power guy. But if I don't want to go that route and I want to go even cheaper than Najee, Nick Chubb for certain is going to be a cheaper option. But I think he still is one of those low risk, high reward type of people at this stage. Because if he can tap back into what it was looking like prior to Minka hitting it, that's gold. But if we could just get close enough to that, it's still gold. And based off of what I was seeing on that tape, it's like, yo, he was showing certain things. Sucks is, to me, it was more like, because I look at the numbers and I'm like, oh, man, the numbers, he was averaging 4.5, in that range. But they didn't give him a ton of opportunities either. So that's the other part where it was like, I get the snap count element of it. So and the only reason why I focus on him right now is because you got reports that Coach Tom has interest in him. So we can shoot in the dark and just, go out and throw names haphazardly. Or when you listen to what the boss man is saying and the people that are intriguing to him, you can try to see what he is seeing in that, because those typically are the guys that he likes to go bring in if he, is talking about him and stuff like that. So like I said, man, that's the thing with that, but we obviously will see. I know some people feel like because of the injury and who did the injury, that it's off limits. He would never come here. The only thing I would say is this, man, the almighty green is bigger than all that, baby. So yeah, I've seen plenty of people. I've seen Deion Sanders go from a Cowboys jersey to a Washington Redskins jersey. Okay. We seen Patrick Quinn go from being in a Ravens jersey to rocking that beautiful black and gold. Man, I was in the locker room hollering at how we hate every Ravens player with LJ Fort, and my man is over there in Baltimore. Hey, man. If the check right, man, we ain't hearing none of that, baby. So that is the way that I will tell you, man. I know we want to just talk from the emotional side, and that is real. If we took the check away, yes, you'd be over here like, ain't no way in the heck I'm going over there. But when them numbers start numbering, yeah, man, I just see some dudes that was like, yo, I never go. I hate them to, hey, bro, hey, this business, bro. So I'm just going to give you that one. All right. But shout out to the young boy, Bashul Tootin, like I said, I keep butchering his name. Yeah, I want to say it's Bashul Tootin, running back out of Virginia Tech. Like I said, man, I thought that he really impressed out as one of those guys. Another guy that I thought impressed, man, out the running back room, Omarion Hampton. There's another guy, man, put out there, beautiful speed, man, reflecting that on tape. Love to see that, because he was one of those guys for me that obviously I was a little bit skeptical of his long range speed, mainly because when you would watch him, I felt like at times I would see him get caught, and I personally didn't like that. When you're talking about running backs and trying to move on from a Najee Harris, who we say his big issue right now is what? The home run speed. He gets caught. He doesn't have that explosive nature. So we're trying to find that. We're trying to find that next big body back that could also provide us that speed, that could also provide us with that burst, that home run capability. And to me, when I looked at what Omarion Hampton was able to do, that opened up my eyes because clearly he's physical. Clearly he's a big back. But when you put that 4.4 on tape, on that laser, back to back, that's big speed. That's real life running right there. So to me, he was one of those guys that really stood out to me, man, because like I said, we were already talking about him. He was already somebody that I was interested in us pursuing, mainly because of his size. When you talk about big body players, I need a guy that can be like Najee. I need a guy that can fit that mold, a guy that could ultimately, take the workload, right? Because those are some of the questions that I personally have about Jaylen Warren becoming RB1 full time without it being a committee or somebody to alternate with. This is when we talk about Bashul Tootin, Bashul Tootin. Yeah, make sure I be butchering the joint, bro, because I'm getting familiar with it. My problem is I watch the tape and I don't like to listen to the names. I like to have it muted because I like the commentators be just talking sometimes. I'll be like, bro, what are y'all even talking about? But ultimately, when it comes to certain names like this, you like, hey, bro, I might want to turn that on just a couple of more times and just hear that a couple of more times said, all right? But y'all know who I'm talking about. All right, so shout out to the homie. Shout out to the dude. I thought he looked good out there. But like I said, man, with Omarion Hampton, though, he presents a different element, man. Like I said, that power that he plays with, man, obviously he was at UNC, so it's not like we're talking about an SEC dude playing against SEC teams. But to me, I thought that, man, his tape was hot. The production was there. And when you put out that 4.4 to go along with that big body, yeah. I mean, he was what, 4.47, and I think it said 4.46 was his other time. So we're talking back-to-back sustainability with the 4.4. That's the part to me that I like a lot. All right. So shout out to Omarion Hampton. Another guy. Mike Hood, funny. He said, I'm with you on mute in the commentary. Yeah, I ain't gonna hold you. I'm definitely to that stage in life where I don't like watching the game with the cow. Just mute, bro. Just because y'all just be talking sometimes, bro. They just be saying, I'll be like, hey, that is not what happened. It's just like, yo, what? Like, I get it. Y'all got to entertain. I'm all a fan of it. And obviously, I do it as well, man, at the collegiate level. So it's like I understand what they're trying to do. It's just at times, I'm like, bro, I'm trying to look at this play. I'm trying to focus on this play. And y'all just rap it. Y'all ain't talking about nothing that deals with anything right now, all right? But yeah, Mike Hood, same with the combine. I'm like, bro, I'm trying to watch this kid do a field workout and y'all talk about everything about three dudes that ain't even on the field right now. I'm just like, come on, bro. So yeah, man. Josiah Williams says next year Mo's doing a live stream of it. Man, I might have to consider that. Trust me, man. Hey, we got the setup, all right? We got the setup. We feeling comfy. So you never know. We never know, all right? But yeah, man, I be having to mute them folks sometimes, man, all right? But the other guy out the backfield that I really was impressed with as well because of the speed, and this was also something that didn't necessarily reflect on tape always, Quinshon Judkins, Ohio State. Yeah. I mean, we were just talking about Quinshon the other day, right? Thursday show. I think it was Mike Hood I was on the phone with, right? And we were saying how Travion Henderson has the big body and the burst. He can go get it. But we say Quinshon, man, he kind of, is lacking that juice a little bit. But goes out there and drops the 4.48 on the laser. I'm like, man. And the reason why I emphasize the laser is it's a lot harder, to run fast times on laser versus the hand time. Hand time, man, it stops as soon as your head breaks the line, like you're racing somebody. Boom. So you get almost a half a second shaved off of your time versus that laser is going off of your hip. Yeah, you got to run through the line. And that's when that thing is stopping you. So when you start seeing 4.4s or 4.3s, or obviously in Quinshon's the 4.48, you like, hey, you're rolling, bro. You're rolling. So that to me was really impressive, along with his 38.5-inch vertical and 11-inch broad jump. The reason why it was impressive, it just shows the explosiveness of him. It shows that he's an athlete, a guy that can get out of his hips. And that's what you want to see when you're talking about change of direction, short area burst. Can you, when you're finding it, go. Can you explode about it? Go. That's what we're looking. That's what these tests are for. And when you look at what Quinshon was able to do, to me, that reflects all right, he is a lot more athletic than I might have initially saw, or what I might initially thought. He is a little bit more faster than I initially thought. So now it's going to have me going back and saying, okay, let me go look at the guy. And I did say 11 inches. Excuse me on that one. 11 feet. Jeez Louise, Mike Hood. Jeez Louise. Yeah, please don't let me say 11 inches. Lord, if you can't jump 11 inches, bro, something off. All right, jeez Louise. I'm just glad that you ain't let me just keep going the whole time. All right, salute to you on that one, man. I for sure said 11 inches, bruh. Shit. Hey, the vertical was 38. All right, 38 inches. He ain't jumped 38 feet, 38 inches or that, but broad jumps definitely feet. All right, so salute to him. But with that though, let's see. But going back to Quinshawn though, man, I'm a little bit more intrigued now. Like I said, for me, I need to go find out. All right, when you were getting caught on tape, who are these guys? How fast were those guys that were catch you? Because I was under the assumption or the impression that he wasn't as fast. I was under the impression that he was, small scat back type, but lacking in the big speed. And that's why, he wasn't going to be one of those guys to, be higher up in this, running back market. But when you go out there and put the 4.48 on tape, you put all that other explosive testing on tape. That's the type of stuff that makes you feel a lot more confident about this guy's ability to transition to the next level. And that's why you have all this information. That's why we talk about the All-Star game. You get certain information in there. I want to see, how do you play with other players that you've never been around? How do you handle learning a scheme for the first time this week and having to play in the game and execute at full speed at the end of the week? I'm not looking for perfection. I'm looking for the giving and receiving of information from the classroom, and can you take it onto the field and execute? Fast forward to the combine. I want to see, how can you mentally and physically respond to a situation where it is extremely stressful and designed to ultimately stress you mentally and physically out due to the hours that they have you up, some of the psychological tests that they do along with the medical testing. And then it's go out here and perform with these cameras, and we've added fans to the building. Can you still show up? Can you still handle that adversity, that pressure, and still be you? And then we'll have the pro day. All right, now you've had more information now in a controlled setting where it's on your terms. Can you still look as good as we've seen on tape? And now after that, you obviously got your top 30 visits, right? So all of this is a part of the process. And that's why when I look at Quinshawn Junkins along with Bashul Tutton, those are the type of dudes to me that I'm going to go back and watch more of. I'm going to go back and learn more of these dudes because I think that they are a lot more intriguing options if we're trying to go that road of two small backs and one big back. Now, obviously, Omarion Hampton, I think he might mess around and go in that first just because of the 4.47 he put on tape. That's that Joe Mixon type, big body, big speed. Yeah, dudes like them because they can win. You can win a lot of games with those type of dudes, man. All right. So, like I said, man, that's the part with me where I will see with Omarion Hampton, with Quinshawn Junkins, and obviously with Bashul Tutton. But those are the dudes that I had as winners from the running back room. A couple of wide receivers, man, that I also thought did their thing. Just because of the speed that they were able to put on tape. Matthew Golden, the 4.30 40-yard dash. Holy smokes, man. Remember, we were doing the mock, and I said, man, I'm torn in that first round at that stage at pick 21 between Emeka Egbuka and Matthew Golden because of the speed, because of the production. But I was like, man, one guy I think is a little bit more polished, whereas the other guy, he just goes out there and he's down the grass going to get it. But going to see that man put that 4.30 on tape, I'm like, bro, that's fast. That's speed. So now I'm really going to be going back and having to watch for him because, yeah, I like what I saw from him right there, man, in terms of putting that on tape. And like I said, man, when you got speed like that's game changing along with his size as well. Luther Burden, I thought that he did good, man. The 4.41, love that from him, man. Obviously he's a little bit smaller, but when you see him with that type of speed and his tape, with the type of juice he has, the short area quickness, the ability to make a guy miss and go yard, yes. But now I definitely think that Luther Burden is going to be like out of our market. I think he goes a little bit earlier than anything that we trying to touch. But Matthew Golden, though, man, Matthew Golden for certain, I think will be around in that area, man. So I definitely like that. All right. Another guy, man, I thought that They put some hot stuff on tape, man. Ty Felton, the wide receiver out of Maryland. Productive player, but he put out that 4.37. That's big. That's fast. That's rolling. Torrey Horton, the wide receiver from Colorado State. That's a guy that we were seeing in that mid section of the draft. We're looking for another wide receiver option as well. Put out that 4.46 along with the 4.42, and we know he was kind of dealing with some injuries this past season. But I tell y'all, man, if y'all want to know what type of player he is, we all hear about how everybody's talking about Travis Hunter. Just go back, not this year's tape because he was banged up. Go watch last year, junior year tape when he is healthy, and watch him versus Travis Hunter. Torrey Horton from Colorado State can absolutely ball. All right, can absolutely ball. So when him putting them 4.46s and 4.42s on, that's one of those ones where, to me, I think, yeah, we could definitely have an eye for him. Other guy I was liking as well, man, was Alec Ayamanor. You keep hearing me talk about him from Stanford, man. Silky smooth route runner, man. I like his production. I like how he catches the football. He dropped the 4.44 as well, man. Any of them speed dudes with size, that stands out to me. All right. So I thought that those dudes I really was liking. Also a cornerback option. I know we are in the process of maybe doing business with Adontae Jackson, maybe not, going elsewhere. We will see how that whole thing plays out. But I did like Maxwell Hairston. All right, Kentucky. Little bit of a tweener in terms of interior versus exterior, or slot versus outside corner. But I love his reaction. I thought that watching him on tape at Kentucky, his ability to go break when you're watching outbreaking routes, his ability to put foot in the ground and go, hands catcher of the football, even as a defender, and he's trying to take it to the house like that a lot, along with the fact he's not scared to tackle either. But I thought he executed the scheme, what they were asking him to do in Kentucky, extremely well. But I just thought he played with a lot of confidence, man, and he looks fast the same way he looks when he was out there running. Obviously put a 4.29 on tape, or excuse me, at the combine on the laser. So when you're talking 4.29, that's a whole nother class of speed. All right. So with that, that's definitely the thing for me that, to me, made Maxwell stand out. And I'm like, yeah, we're not trying to go corner in the first round. And I feel like Maxwell is going to be in the first round. But what I will say is, if he were to slide, or if anything gets weird, and depending on what we do with Donte Jackson with the cornerback position in free agency, that is somebody that we could potentially be considering. We already know we have a JPJ, a Corey Trice already in here. This could be one of those dudes that can give you some of that flexibility outside, inside, push Beanie Bishop as well. Obviously, we'll see what we're doing with Cam Sutton, with contract, stuff like that. But you can never have enough big speed, man. And like I said, 5'11" ain't big, but that's blazing. All right. Oh, man, let me text the homie too real quick, man. Just make sure he ain't waiting on me. I just looked at the clock. I was like, oops. All right. But like I said, man, those are some of the guys for me that I peeped at wide receiver, at running back, man, that I thought stood out. In terms of quarterbacks, though, man, shout out to Jackson Dart. All right, him and his little Jordan 11s with the fire haircut, man. I thought he looked good, man. That ball was firing off his arm, man. Him and Jalen Milroe had a freaking cannon too, bruh. I'm like, Jalen, man, you about to dislocate somebody's hand off that joint, man. Where you throwing that rock, man? Sheesh. But yeah, Jackson Dart, Jalen Milroe, and for certain Quinn Ewers. Quinn threw the ball so daggone good. He had me going back and watching them daggone Texas games thinking I was tripping. I said, hold on, Quinn. Yeah, well, your execution, your anticipation, boy. The air you put on that ball, boy. And then they had Steve Sarkisian over there just giving a little comment, like, hey, bro, let me turn. I'd seen a name pop up, so I was like, hold on, I popped up to hear him. I had to hear Steve talk for a second. I was like, hold on, Steve, say something cool real quick. I was like, dang, Quinn, you got me thinking you nice. Yeah, man. So after that, I had to go back and watch some more Quinn Ewers tape, man, just to get me back to reality, man, because, yeah, he looked really good. He looked good. Jalen Milroe just looked like he looked good, but he was throwing it so daggone hard. I'm like, bro, you ain't got to prove that you could throw that thing 100 miles an hour every time. But I don't play quarterback, so if that's how he on it, that's how he on it. But yeah, my man had a cannon. Holy smokes, he had a cannon, man. But like I said, man, those are some of the guys to me that, like I said, man, that really stood out as winners. I don't have a long list of guys that I consider combine losers. All right. Just simply because, like I said, man, to get to the combine, man, that's a heck of an accomplishment. And obviously, man, for the guys that did perform, great. For the guys that didn't perform the best, man, you just got to bounce back, man, right? You just got to bounce back. And shout out to the pro day. But, I hate to do it. My man Isaiah Bond, though. Oh, I hate to do it, Isaiah Bond. Come on, baby. You ain't had no terrible combine, but you can't come up here and say you finna break the record, bro. My man said he was gonna break the combine 40-yard dash record set by my man Xavier Worthy just the year before, obviously, of Texas. 4.21 is the record for those that were wondering. 4.21. My man Isaiah Bond, boy. Boy, don't you ever talk about breaking no dago record. You put out that 4.41 like that, bro. You was fast the whole, hey, you was for certain rolling. You was rolling. But, bro, 4.41 compared to 4.21, those are like light years apart just in terms of on the grass, man. Whenever you oversell the way that he did and you don't deliver, this is kind of what happens. It sucks because he still was flying. And for context, the reason I say he was flying, it was 24 miles an hour is what it was equated to. So even though his 40-yard time was slower than Xavier Worthy, slower than his teammate Matthew Golden, etc., he still had the fastest or one of the fastest miles per hours on record at the combine, man. 24.17 miles per hour. So to me, man, it was cool because I was like, man, this is like that nerdy information that I kind of like. I'm like, all right, so you're telling me this. When you accelerate the top speed, bro, your top speed is rolling. But you take a little bit longer to get to your top speed compared to others. All right. But I like it though. But he for certain, my man say 4.41. I'm like, bro, it's some like real life fast dudes out here. Man, I'm talking to Xavier Worthy like we don't have a Calvin Austin who, when we slowed it down, he ran 4.19 the one time. We was like, hey, bro, he fast too. He should have had the record too. Let's not forget that one. But yeah, man, you can't be hollering about no 4.4. Can't be talking about you about to break the record and you run out there and drop a 4.41. That, nah, bro. That don't fly. That ain't cool. All right, let me see. The homie ain't hit me back yet. He might be. Hey, yeah, I know my dog be grinding. Y'all know my dog be on the workflow, man. So when he hits me, he will hit me back. But let me keep talking to him. And y'all hit that like button too if y'all enjoying what we on tonight. And don't forget to subscribe either if you are new to the channel. But yeah, man, Isaiah Bond, he said, man, just for future references, don't oversell it, man. Don't get out there and say you about to drive. Say, man, I think I'm gonna run pretty good. I feel pretty confident about, what I'm about to go do out there, man. And then you go out there. So that way, if you just drop the 4.41, we'll be over here like, yo, 4.41, you flying, you look good. 4.41, you stuck, man. We could work with that. But no, you want to go out here and talk about, I'm about to break the record, bro. So that's my words of advice for him. But unfortunately, there was a dude that I was a little bit disappointed in. Caleb Johnson, Iowa. I enjoyed Caleb Johnson's what I saw from him on tape in terms of his vision, his explosiveness through the hole, his ability to run it all the way, ability to catch out the backfield. Talked about he had a little bit of that Aaron Jones in him, had a little L Belly in him, L Bell type vibes in him. But go out there and I'm like, man, you're not a massive, like, big back. So to me, I just thought he would be a little bit faster. And unfortunately, my man ran a 4.57. Not saying that 4.57 is slow, but for a running back of his size, yeah, it's on the slower side. Okay. And for some people, man, I will say that it's one of those things that the combine, man, it just gets you. Like you said, man, you get there, the scheduling of everything, the anxiety that you're experiencing, man, when you're down there on that field, or maybe the super excitement and you don't know how to contain that or manage those feelings. All of those, man, to me, I can understand where it can get you. I've seen it affect people, man, when I was down there myself. So with that, for Caleb Johnson, I'm like, all right, I can give you some grace, but now it puts a lot more pressure on him to perform at the pro day. Because now he's one of those guys, to me, we were talking about him, at least from my eyes, as one of those potential late first round type of dudes, man. I thought he had that type of production. I thought he had that type of contact balance, that type of vision, anticipation, can catch out the backfield, can block. But now when you put that 4.57 on tape, that makes people just pause for a second, makes them hesitate for a second. And it's weird because I would have thought it would have been flipped Caleb Johnson and Amarion Hampton. If you would have told me one guy's going to run a 4.47, I would have said, yo, it's got to be Caleb Johnson. And if you would have told me one guy was going to run a 4.57, I would have said for certain it's Amarion Hampton. But it was reversed. And when, like I said, you're talking about these guys, you're talking about these smaller running backs on top of it, or just, not the guys that are as big as the Travion Hendersons, not the guys that are big as the Amarion Hamptons. That's the part where, you start asking yourself, all right, are you going to be fast enough to do some of the things that we saw you doing on tape in college at this level? Because these dudes out here are fast on defense, man. You got D linemen running, 4.5, 4.6s out here. Some of these dudes are at least outside backers, right? We've seen plenty of speed out there, though, and big speed on top of that, man, which is the part where when you're just asking yourself, man, can these guys sustain? Can this guy hold up? Is this guy's game going to translate? These are the questions, and this is the information that you kind of have to process through to kind of figure that out, to get the answer to that. But as a whole, though, man, like I said, I didn't have a ton of dudes that I was like, yo, man, that running back, man, I really wish he would have been fast out there. I guess if I had to drop another name for a dude that I thought would have been a little bit faster. All right, hold on, I ain't glitch out, did I? Okay, I'm back. Whoo. There we go. About to say, man, sometimes, man, I make sure the technology won't tripping out. But yeah, the other guy that I would say, man, that I wish would have been faster on his testing, Ollie Gordon. Yeah, Oklahoma State, big body back. Y'all know Ollie Gordon, man. To me, I thought that, the production collegiately looked good. But when we're ultimately talking about what this 40-yard time was talking about, that's the thing where I'm just like, I don't like that. I think that you need to be faster than 4.61, and I think that he plays faster than that to me. I think he plays a lot faster than that. But when you see that, I'm like, bro, that's like, you kind of slow, bro. Yeah. So that's the thing that, to me, I'm just like, that, once again, man, you just have little questions. It makes you just pause. We're not saying that the combine or the pro day is a indictment or the final endorsement. But when we're just gathering all the information, when we're taking all of these little context clues surrounding these players, and we're trying to figure out who can potentially do this, who can potentially step up, and play at this level, this is the information that we're looking for. Jamal McCullum asked what was my 40 time. If I remember correctly, I was 4.63 on the laser, 4.57 hand time. So, and I was pissed. I read super slow, bro. 4.63 on the laser to me was slow. I was supposed to go out there and put 4.5 on tape. That was, yeah. And yeah, I had 4.5s everywhere up until laser day. And yeah, you see it even when I ran it on the thing. It was like, oh man, unofficial hand time 4.57, laser time 4.63. So like I said, man, it was cool. But the reason why I was talking about that context is because it's like, man, you don't run the 40 to the last day. That's after you've been sitting in MRI machines for hours, days at a time. That's after they done had you up at 4 a.m. for a random piss test, and they got you up at 2 a.m. still, or not 2 a.m, 1 a.m. doing interviews. Yeah, with the team where they got the spotlight on you, all the coaches in the background. You feel like you in the feds. You like, hey bro, what's this, man? Yeah, they do all that, and then you get to go run. So to me, yeah, I was low key pissed with my time. It was funny about people's, man. They was dumb hype, man. I remember my college coach, JC Price, is over at Virginia Tech now. But yeah, man, hit my phone, man, when I get back, because obviously when you're down, you just grind. You ain't even think about nothing like that. But yeah, you get off and yeah, you get the phone. Everybody's like, yo, man, you was cooking, bro. That's fast. You was flew, man. Da da da. I'm like, man, 4.6, boy, that trash. But that's also just the mindset, though. You know what I mean? So, like I said, it is, just how it goes. But once again, fortunate to get the opportunity, man, to have even been out there at the combine. And, it's one of them things, man, for all these dudes, man, that we talk about positively and negatively based on their performances at the combine. You still never want to lose sight that they did get the right to be there. They did earn that, and I think that's important. I'm all for critiquing these dudes, criticizing these dudes, but at the same time, man, we still should acknowledge that, yeah, man, to get there, to get that invite, man, I wasn't even an initial invite dude. I had to get the second wave of invites. That's all right, you played well enough your final year that now we're interested to learn more about you. So, some dudes, man, it be like that, bro. Some dudes is like that. But shout out to them dudes, though, man. They already on the front end, on the back end. Don't forget to hit that like button one time for the culture and subscribe if you are new to the channel.